From our previous tutorial, we can observe that there are some barely visible gaps. Those are produced. Those shouldn't be in there. And these are the gaps. Those are to be filled in this part. And later on, we will be moving on to our next part of this Flexbox element, Flexbox container. And it is about the flex direction that we are intend to learn in our next tutorial. But first we have to fill in those gaps. Those have been produced unintentionally. We can see that we have used a particular margin of a certain value here, and here's the solution how to fix up this thing, how to keep things equally spaced in between, and this is what this tutorial is about. So let's proceed. First of all, we are getting back to stylesheet.css, and here inside this .pic thumbnail we can see that we have placed this text align center and we have placed a max width of 1200 pics. Now the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to just comment it out. Press Ctrl S, get back to your project and reload, and you can see that it is now getting the whole width, the whole device display width, as we have seen previously, that without mentioning any kind of max width, all of this entire device width will be taken up by the Flexbox container. Now the next thing that we are going to do, we are just moving around all those things. We are just deleting it off, and padding 10 pics, it's alright. Margin is 10 pics auto, this is too okay. And on the other hand, in this .pic thumbnail image where we have described all those image conditions, what will be the alignment attributes or properties of those images. So we have set a border radius of 10 pics and a margin of 10 pics. First of all, we are commenting this thing off. We do not need any margin of 10 pics here. There it goes. Here it is. Reload. And you can see that all those margins, those are now practically disappeared. Now the next thing is we have to keep them. We have to add some extra spaces over here, some equal spaces, such that all those things, those are practically equally spaced in between. We are getting back to this .pic thumbnail, and here we are placing justify content, and we are providing this space between. Pressing Ctrl S, get back to your project, and you can see that all those images, those are practically spaced equally in between and from both the ends. You have added a padding of 10 pics here, and that is what it is executing, a 10 pics flat padding from all corners, from all ends, from the top, right, bottom and left. Now if we just press Ctrl Shift M, this is the display that it is practically using over here. So that is why we need to just keep these things in the central position while it is in a mobile responsive condition. We need to space them in the middle part. So that is why we now need to get back to our stylesheet.css, and the very first thing, we need to provide a 10 pics of flat margin from the top. So all we need to do, we are first discarding of this comment, and here instead of margin we are using margin top of 10 pics. So we can see that 10 pics of margin from the top is being executed over here. And in this particular case, all we can do now, we can use this thing text align center. Let's see what it does. And we can see that all those images, those are now practically aligned into the central position. But in the normal preview, we can see that those images are practically equally spaced, and it is taking up the whole width of the container that has been used over here. On a second thought, if you want to keep it, I'm just increasing it to 1300 pics, and the rest of the things will remain unaltered. And we can see now that this whole container width, it is practically 1300 pics, and the contents, that means these images inside, those are practically getting equally spaced. And if we press Ctrl Shift M, and we may see that all those images, those are practically text aligned center. And on larger preview, all of them are horizontally spaced equally. So this is the thing that we need to fill up from our previous tutorial of how to create a thumbnail gallery, and in the next tutorial we are going to observe now how to use flex direction into your purpose.